This is the weekend edition of Daily Tech Headlines for the week ending Saturday, December 6th, 2025. I'm Sarah Lane. Let's catch up on a bit of breaking news and essential news over the past week. The European Commission fined X 120 million euros for violating the Digital Services Act, saying that the platform misled users with its paid verification system and didn't provide required transparency around political ads and researcher access to public data. Regulators said that X's ad repository lacks key details and that the company blocks researchers from scraping public information. It is the first DSA fine. On Friday, Netflix announced it's acquiring Warner Brothers, including HBO Max and the HBO Studio, for $82.7 billion. The deal is expected to close in the third quarter of 2026, though it's also expected to face significant antitrust review. Netflix says it expects to maintain theatrical releases for films. Though games weren't mentioned in the initial announcement, Game Developer reports a spokesperson confirmed Warner Brothers games will also be acquired. Waymo will file a voluntary software recall after U.S. regulators flagged multiple incidents where Waymo cars improperly passed or maneuvered around stopped school buses. The company says it pushed an update November 17th that improves behavior and will submit the recall to NHTSA next week. The agency is continuing its investigation following reports from Atlanta and Austin, including 19 alleged illegal passes in Austin this year. Limitless CEO Dan Soroker announced in a blog post that Meta is buying the AI wearable startup. Limitless makes a wearable pendant that can record conversations and generate summaries. Soroker says the deal aligns with Meta's push toward personal superintelligence and AI-powered wearables. Meta says the team will help accelerate development of future devices. The New York Times is suing AI startup Perplexity for copyright infringement in the Southern District of New York, claiming the company illegally copied and distributed its content to generate similar or identical user query responses. This is part of a broader effort by the Times to protect its intellectual property from AI misuse, having already sued Microsoft and OpenAI. Anthropic previously made a $1.5 billion settlement with authors over illegally downloaded books. SpaceX is targeting an IPO in the second half of 2026. That's according to The Information, which says the company may list the full business, including Starlink. SpaceX is launching a secondary sale that could value the company as high as $800 billion. Bloomberg says insider shares may trade closer to a $560 billion valuation. India's telecom ministry has withdrawn its order requiring smartphone makers to pre-install the Sanchar Sathi cybersecurity app, saying that growing adoption makes the mandate unnecessary. Google and Apple pushing back probably didn't help either. The app launched in January and has 14 million downloads, according to the Indian government, and feeds data on around 2,000 fraud incidents per day. After reports of a mandatory non-removable install surfaced, roughly 600,000 people registered to download it on December 2nd. Meta has new licensing partnerships with news orgs like CNN, Fox News, USA Today, The Daily Caller, and Le Monde to provide content for its AI chatbot. This follows Meta's termination of previous publishing deals and the closure of the Facebook News tab. It also comes amid ongoing lawsuits by publishers, like the New York Times, against AI companies for unauthorized content use. YouTube announced it will comply with a new Australian law banning social media accounts for users under 16 by automatically signing out and preventing those users from logging in, subscribing, or posting content. This starts December 10th. YouTube called the measure a disappointing update, arguing it doesn't increase safety because a logged out user is less safe as parental controls no longer apply. The ban carries significant penalties, and Australia's e-safety commissioner has reported a high prevalence of harmful content exposure for 10 to 15-year-olds on the platform. Spotify's Wrapped 2025 was a success, engaging over 200 million users in the first 24 hours. That is a 19% increase over last year. This follows criticism of the 2024 feature's focus on AI, leading Spotify to introduce numerous new data-driven and social features this year, like your listening age, listener categories, and the Wrapped Party, leading to more than 500 million social shares, a 41% increase. For more analysis of the tech news of the day and the week, subscribe to dailytechnewsshow.com. You can find show notes and links to all these headlines there as well. I'm Sarah Lane. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll talk to you Monday.